52 seconds ago, Senator Elizabeth Warren did something that will end Kash Patel's career. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't interrupt. She simply opened a red-striped folder, pulled out an FBI internal memo, and began reading a document that FBI Director Kash Patel had just sworn under oath didn't exist. The memo, dated November 4th, 2025, was authored by the FBI's Chief Information Security Officer. Subject line: critical data loss incident requiring immediate executive attention. It detailed the permanent deletion of 2.4 terabytes of classified counterintelligence data, executed at 2:47 a.m. on November 3rd using Patel's personal authorization code while he sat alone in his office on the 7th floor of FBI headquarters. But what made Patel's hands start trembling wasn't the memo itself. It was the second document Warren held up without saying a word. A witness protection agreement bearing Patel's signature, granting emergency FBI security detail to Michael Flynn, whose name appeared 47 times in the deleted files. 2 days before the deletion. The hearing had started like any other. March 18, 2026, Senate Intelligence Committee, routine FBI oversight. Patel arrived at 9:47 a.m., 13 minutes early, surrounded by 4 attorneys carrying briefcases full of pre-approved answers. For 2 hours, everything went according to script. Republican senators praised his leadership on border security and counterterrorism. Democratic senators pressed him on controversial personnel decisions: the reassignment of 1,200 counterintelligence agents, the firing of 14 senior FBI officials who'd criticized Trump, the systematic denial of security clearances for career investigators. Patel deflected every challenge with bureaucratic precision: operational efficiency, ongoing investigations, national security protocols, standard Washington theater. Then Chairman Mark Warner recognized Elizabeth Warren for her questioning time. The room's energy shifted instantly. Everyone knew Warren didn't ask questions unless she already had the answers, and she didn't bring documents unless those documents would destroy careers. Warren is a former bankruptcy law professor who built her reputation dismantling corporate fraud schemes. A senator who'd spent 6 weeks preparing for this exact moment with methodical, surgical precision. The red-striped folder sat closed on her desk. Patel's eyes tracked to it for 1 second before returning to Warren's face. Trained observers saw the micro-expression of concern. "Director Patel," Warren began, her voice carrying that particular Massachusetts precision that makes every word land like a scalpel. "I want to ask you about FBI data preservation protocols, specifically regarding classified counterintelligence materials." Patel's left hand moved to adjust his tie, a self-soothing gesture indicating stress. "Of course, Senator. The FBI maintains the most rigorous data security protocols in the federal government." "Excellent," Warren said. Something in that single word made everyone understand Patel had just walked into a trap. "So you'd agree the FBI has systems to prevent unauthorized deletion of classified data?" Patel nodded, still projecting confidence he'd lose in 40 seconds. "Absolutely. Multiple redundant backups, strict access controls, comprehensive audit trails. It would be virtually impossible for significant intelligence to be deleted without proper authorization and documentation." "Virtually impossible," Warren repeated slowly. "And if such a deletion occurred, there'd be clear records of who authorized it?" "Correct," Patel confirmed. "Every action requires digital authentication. Those logs are preserved indefinitely." Warren opened her folder. "Director Patel, are you familiar with FBI Data Management Report DM 25-847, dated November 4th, 2025? Patel's face showed the first visible sign of genuine concern. Eyebrows drawing together, mouth opening, then closing. "Senator, without seeing the specific document, I can't comment on individual internal reports." "Let me refresh your memory." Warren held up a document with official FBI letterhead and classification markings. This is an internal memorandum from FBI Chief Information Security Officer, Dr. Jennifer Martinez. Subject: critical data loss incident requiring immediate executive attention. The room went silent. Warren began reading, her voice clear and precise. Director Patel, I am writing to inform you of an unprecedented data loss incident that occurred between November 2nd and 3rd, 2025. Approximately 2.4 terabytes of classified counterintelligence data were permanently deleted from FBI primary servers using administrative override protocols requiring director-level authorization. The deleted materials include 847 counterintelligence case files related to foreign influence operations during the 2024 presidential transition, 2,341 intercepted communications between foreign intelligence operatives and U.S. persons of interest, 18,492 financial transaction records flagged for potential FARA violations, and 673 witness interview transcripts. This deletion was executed using your personal authorization code, FBI-DHAP 7734, initiated from your office terminal at 2:47 a.m. on November 3rd. This represents the largest unexplained loss of classified intelligence in FBI history. The impact was instantaneous. Patel's face drained of color in 3 seconds, so dramatically even the press gallery could see it. His hands began trembling visibly. One of his attorneys leaned in, whispering urgent advice, but Patel seemed unable to process anything. Director Patel, Warren continued, would you like to explain why 2.4 terabytes of classified counterintelligence data were deleted using your authorization code in the middle of the night? Patel's mouth opened, but no words emerged. His left hand reached for his water glass. When he lifted it, the trembling was so pronounced that water sloshed over the rim, spilling onto the witness table while every camera captured it. Senator, Patel finally managed, his voice barely recognizable. I don't have personal knowledge of every technical system operation. I'd need to review the specific circumstances. Warren's voice rose with genuine incredulity. You don't have personal knowledge? This memo explicitly states the deletion was executed using your authorization code from your office terminal at 2:47 in the morning. Are you telling this committee someone else was in your office at 2:47 a.m. using your credentials? Patel looked desperately at his attorneys. Senator, there could be technical explanations for how authorization codes are utilized in automated processes. Let me make this simpler. Warren pulled a second document. This is FBI Headquarters Security Access Log for November 2nd and 3rd, 2025. According to this official record, you personally entered FBI headquarters at 11:34 p.m. on November 2nd, accessed the director's office suite at 11:41 p.m., remained in the building with no other personnel present on the 7th floor, and exited at 4:18 a.m. on November 3rd. The data deletion occurred at 2:47 a.m. You were alone in your office when 2.4 terabytes of classified counterintelligence data were permanently deleted using your authorization code. The trap was complete. Patel sat frozen, face glistening with perspiration, hands trembling so badly he clasped them together, breathing audibly rapid. Senator, I may have been working late, but specific technical operations are handled by specialized personnel, routine archival processes. Warren's voice carried barely contained fury. Director, let me read you one more thing. This deletion utilized emergency override protocols specifically designed to bypass all standard preservation safeguards. The deleted data is permanently unrecoverable. This action required manual disabling of 6 separate backup systems and explicit confirmation at 3 separate verification points. This was not automated. This was a deliberate manual deletion requiring active human intervention at multiple stages. Warren leaned forward, ice cold. Director Patel, that doesn't sound routine. That sounds like someone deliberately destroyed classified counterintelligence data in the middle of the night while alone in the FBI building. So I'm asking one more time, why did you delete 2.4 terabytes of classified counterintelligence files? At 12:07 p.m., 14 minutes into Warren's questioning, Kash Patel completely lost composure. "Senator, this is outrageous." His voice cracked with panic and desperate anger. "You're taking internal communications out of context and weaponizing routine procedures to create a false narrative." Warren cut him off sharply. "Let me give you context. Let me tell you what was in those 2.4 terabytes. She pulled out a third document. Counterintelligence Case File, CI 2024-8847. Investigation into undisclosed foreign contacts by presidential transition team members. Case File CI 2024-913. Intercepted communications between Russian intelligence operatives and U.S. political consultants. Case File CI 2024-9847. Financial intelligence reports on unexplained transfers from foreign entities to domestic political organizations during the transition. With each case file number, Patel seemed to shrink further. And here's the most interesting part. Warren held up a fourth document. This is a witness protection authorization form signed by you personally on November 1st, 2025, granting emergency classified witness status and FBI security detail to Michael Flynn. The name detonated like a bomb. Michael Flynn, Trump's former national security advisor, convicted of lying to the FBI about Russian contacts, pardoned by Trump. Director Patel, Warren said, Michael Flynn's name appears 47 times in the counterintelligence files you deleted 2 days after granting him FBI witness protection. So let me ask directly, did you delete classified counterintelligence data to protect Michael Flynn and others connected to foreign influence operations? Patel tried to stand, chair scraping loudly, face contorted with rage and panic. "I will not sit here and allow you to impugn my integrity with these baseless conspiracy theories." "Sit down, Director," Chairman Warner's voice thundered. Patel sat immediately, hands visibly shaking. Warren wasn't finished. "Let me tell you what I think happened. During the presidential transition, the FBI's counterintelligence division was conducting legitimate investigations into foreign influence operations. Those investigations documented concerning patterns of communication with foreign intelligence services. When you became FBI director, you were instructed to make those investigations disappear. You systematically destroyed evidence to protect powerful people, and you granted Michael Flynn FBI witness protection to ensure his cooperation in keeping quiet. The chamber erupted. Warren pulled out one final document. "Director Patel, I want to read an email sent by FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate on October 28, 2025, 5 days before the deletion. Kash, I need to strongly advise against any action to compromise ongoing counterintelligence investigations. The CI division has developed substantial evidence of FARA violations and potential espionage activities. Any interference would constitute obstruction. I am formally documenting my opposition to any proposed data modifications." Warren looked directly at Patel with cold fury. "Your own deputy director warned you that deleting these files would constitute obstruction. You did it anyway. That's not data management, Director. That's obstruction of justice." Patel sat motionless, unable to respond. "I move that all documents be entered into the congressional record," Warren said, "and I formally request the Department of Justice open an immediate investigation into potential obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence, and violations of federal records preservation laws." Within minutes, video clips went viral. Patel's trembling hands, drained face, inability to provide coherent answers. News networks interrupted programming. FBI director caught deleting counterintelligence files. Legal experts called it the most damning congressional testimony ever witnessed. Within hours, FBI whistleblowers came forward. The DOJ Inspector General announced a criminal investigation. Republican senators called for Patel's resignation. The White House refused comment, a telling silence Washington recognized as preparation to cut loose a liability. Sometimes accountability just requires a senator with a red folder, the patience to build an inescapable trap, and the courage to ask simple questions that have no good answers. Elizabeth Warren asked those questions. Kash Patel had none, and in 52 seconds, the most brazen obstruction of counterintelligence investigations in FBI history was exposed. Destroyed not by partisan politics, but by documented evidence and Patel's complete inability to explain why he sat alone in the FBI building at 2:47 a.m.